Hi, I'm Shade Ferre with TaxSaleSupport.com. I'm here with Stephen Swenson, and this is one of our Property Deal of the Week videos where we look at different property deals, some of which are good, some of which are not good. We like to point out and look at different aspects of properties. So thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, for sure. And today we're going to talk about an auction that's happened within the last 30 days or so in New York. And with this particular property, it's a single family home that was picked up at the tax sale for 58,000.
Yeah, now what we can see here is the property has an assessed value from the county of about 153,000. It has an estimated market of about 175,000. So it was purchased for a great bid to value ratio. It was purchased, for about 30% of, about a third of value roughly, or actually a little bit less than that, really.
Yeah, well, and we're looking at the market value at around 175, at least Redfin, 4 bedroom, 1.5 bath. There's some things that we're looking at as far as the age, it's quite old. But when we're looking at a property like this, especially ones that are going to include a lot of photos, and when we have somebody go out there and take photos, we're going to be looking at certain aspects like the roof. And in looking at the roof, it looks like to me that it's a newer newer metal roof. We'll also look to see if the window's been replaced, and any signs like that on an older home like this that show that there may have been some things done since it was originally purchased.
Yeah, those are all really good points. Yeah, we can tell that the house does look good. It looks like those are newer windows, or certainly not the windows that it was built with. Those look like newer vinyl windows. Um, you can see a lawnmower outside, and they've got grass out there, but the house itself looks to be in pretty good condition overall, and appears to be still be usable. So those are all very good signs, especially for the kind of price that they paid for this property. It's a nice little lot too. It sits on about a little bit more than an acre.
Yeah, and a good sized lot. Not in a pretty decent kind of more rural area, but a nice area as well. And even in looking at the siding, it needed, it had newer siding from what we can see. Now, you would need to come in and clean the yard up. It needs some fix up, as well. But there's things about it, as we pointed out, the siding, the windows, the roof, that are encouraging. Even there's actually, look at that. There's 3 lawnmowers. There's one right there's three rotting
Oh yeah, there
lawnmowers.
are there are three large. I was looking at the image there. Yeah, there are. They're darker color. You can kind of see them back there. It also has a big deck. It looks like a very nice area here. Along with it has a garage and kind of an extended covered area there to the left. So yeah, an older home definitely, but it looks like it's pretty nice, and it's been pretty well maintained. So there are a lot of good things about this property. I mean, starting off with what they bought it for. Anytime you can get a home that's usable for a third for one third of its value, you're going to hit a home run. That's as well as you can hope to do on a property, really.
Yeah, well, and looking into just some of the rentals for that size of home, bedroom, baths of the home, you were looking, on the low end 1,500, but I mean, I put 16 to 1,700, but it ranged between 1,500 to 2,000. And so there could be a good rental income ability there as well in fixing the property up and renting it to somebody who wants to rent a property that's in a little bit more rural location like that.
Yeah, really, that's tremendous monthly rent potential that it has, considering what you're into it. So you're into the property, not that much, and it has the potential to bring in nearly, 1,500 to $2,000 a month. Is a lot of money. So,
You know,
especially
it,
for
oh,
being
I
able to
was
do every
just
month.
yeah, sorry. I was just going to mention it was only a few miles away from one of the larger cities. So it was about 3 to 5 miles away from that bigger city there. So it wasn't a far drive for somebody to potentially rent to.
Yeah, which, location does make a difference, when it comes to how desirable a property is, and having something like that that is, that may be rural, but it's located just a few miles away from other things. That's something that's very doable, and that is a totally different story than if it were another 35 miles further away from anything, and was ultra rural, which makes it a little bit harder to find buyers and to get it sold because there's just not many people that live there, period. Properties like this, you can get people that live in the main area and that will live in, in some of the outer or borderline areas, uh, around it. That makes sense. With a property like this, you could find a buyer because it is nice and close.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, somebody would love to be able to have that larger lot and have that ability to be close to town, but still have that country feel. So there's things that we need to do. We need to look at. We don't know about the inside. On the outside, we can see things that need to be done, but at least we see some update on the outside, which, may or may not be a reflection of the inside. But luckily, they got it, for a pretty good price where they can build in that rehab cost to be able to fix it up based on what we see at the outside, which some of that could be, the most costly. Something like a roof at least looks to me like it's a newer type roof.
Yeah, I think, the age is always, kind of a negative when you're looking at an older property. But at the same time, when you're dealing with an old property and somebody's still living in it, what that means is that they've done a lot of work to, to update the property over time. And especially when you get a property like this where it looks, pretty good, you can tell that they've been taking good care of it. That hasn't just been a recent thing. It's a property that's probably been well cared for many years, and because that's a lot of work that gets done over many years. So yeah, I think, we may not be sure exactly what is going on there with the inside of it, but that's also why you pick it up for a good low percentage of value like this, why you pay a third of its value, because it leaves you with so much potential profitability that it doesn't really matter what goes wrong on the inside because you can afford it.
Yeah, for sure. So, that gives us at least a good idea of that, that property and what needs to be done. And I think that they'll probably do pretty well on it.
Yeah, yeah, I think so too. So thank you so much for watching this video, and be sure to keep an eye out for other videos that we post.